Welcome back to On the Beat. I'm David Wilson, as always, joined by Stephen Bailey and Trevor Haas. Stephen and I will be heading down to College Park on Saturday for Syracuse, Maryland. Syracuse will have Ryan Norton back from a suspension. The kicking game was a little shaky last week. This has to be a big difference for them, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're Scott Schaefer, you know when you get inside maybe the 25, the 20-yard line, you can kick a field goal.
You don't have to rely on a Charlie Loeb fake.
That was exciting, though.
It was exciting, but yeah, I think it gives you a little more flex as an offense, just stability. I mean, you don't want to see Jonathan Fisher and Riley Dixon out there trying to kick field goals.
Yeah, Riley Dixon is pretty capable. I talked to him last week, and he said he's comfortable from like 30, 40 yards, but it's just obviously having Ryan Norton back because he's a guy who's done it before and actually has the reps. So.
And he's got a strong leg, so you can't always test him in the 45 area.
Yep.
Another thing that changes the complexion of the offense a little bit, you saw Ashton Broyle move out to wide receiver, lets Brisley Esteem get on the field more. Jeremiah Kobina didn't touch the field on offense. I think it's an exciting way to get both of these guys on the field, and possibly your two most talented wide receivers. Even if they are a little bit untraditional, it's good to be able to get them on the field at the same time.
I think they're two big play guys on offense. You could say Prince or Jerome can break it, but if you want to give a guy the ball in space, those are the two guys you want to give it to. I think Ashton needed to adjust a little bit to a new position. You're running different routes, probably getting jammed a little bit more on the outside. And you saw him, he had 2 illegal substitution penalties with Jared West in the last game, and a couple plays he didn't really look like he knew where he was going. So I think you're going to see an Ashton Broyle who knows how to play outside receiver this week, and you're going to see Brisley Esteem who's had one game of playing significant reps. So comfortable guys in new positions who can really explode with the ball.
Yeah, definitely. I think it really suits both guys' skill sets well because the other system you really can't get either one on the field for a lot of time. You're just splitting it up, and it's really inefficient. But this way, you can get them both out there. Brisley can be in the slot and can kind of craft his way around people and get significant gains. And Ashton Broyle on the outside, he's pretty lethal because he's tall and athletic. So
it'll work. Block too.
Yep.
I would like to see George McDonald get a little bit more flexible with their roles. Let Ashton Broyle still play in the slot a little bit because I think he is good in that spot with his size. Maybe let Brisley get in the backfield a little bit. I think moving them around, not keeping them in such rigid roles. Yeah, you can break some plays out of the backfield, run some screens. Maryland's wide receiver core, though, is pretty depleted. Deion Long, Stephon Diggs, 2 of the best wide receivers in the ACC, both out for the season. They have some solid backups there, but I think it puts a lot of pressure on C.J. Brown and the Maryland running game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the Syracuse secondary. It had a tough start. Got banged up when it lost Keon Lynn for the season. And, these last 2 weeks, it's kind of caught breaks. Campanaro went down early in the Wake Forest game, one of the best receivers in the conference, if not the country. And now you're facing a team without its top 2 receivers, including Stephon Diggs. So, big break for Syracuse there. And you will see Maryland run the ball more, and I think that plays to the Syracuse defense's strengths.
You can make the case that Syracuse has gotten breaks in a decent amount of games. The wide receiver, Allen Robinson, only played the second half against Penn State. It's considering that's one of the biggest weaknesses on the defense, that secondary. It's a nice bonus for Syracuse.
Venrick Mark against Northwestern.
Yeah, Venrick Mark, even though he's more of a running back, but it's a nice bonus for that secondary, I think. So let's get some over-unders. Over-under 1.5 field goals for Ryan Norton in his return.
I'll go under.
I'll go under.
Yeah, I think under, too. Over-under 175 yards passing for C.J. Brown without his top 2 wide receivers.
I'll go over.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go under. I think around 150.
I'll go on over. I think he gets around 200.
Yeah.
And over-under 3.5 catches for Ashton Broyle now that he's to that wide receiver role.
I'll go over. I think Ashton's going to have a good game.
Yep, over. Last week he just wasn't comfortable, as we've talked about, and I think he'll be ready to go.
Yeah, over. And I think they do move him to the slot from time to time. It'll let him get a little bit more comfortable. Let's get our last predictions in here, though.
I have Maryland 27, Syracuse 21. I think it's going to be a good game, a close game, but I think Syracuse is just going to get edged on the road.
At the start of the season, I picked Maryland on this one, but I think Syracuse is going to take it based on Maryland's injuries because they lost 2 of their best guys and some other players too. But I think Syracuse is healthier, and I think they'll take this one.
I'm going to go Maryland 20, Syracuse 17. I think Maryland is banged up, but I still think they have some talent on that roster. Thanks again for joining us. Be sure to follow our coverage all weekend long at DO Sports and at dailyorange.com/sports.